So Tamira gets to go to space. I have a wooden cross that you can hold in your hands. It fits like in 3 prongs. And a stranger came up to me at the airport. She said, I always hear you talk about being a nervous flyer, and I wanted you to have this. And so if you're ever on a flight and you feel nervous, take it out and hold it. So whenever I'm flying, I have this with me.
Also, I just noticed, what is this on your wrist?
So Jared, who's one of our jib operators at CBS Morning, his daughter, Denise, who's 7, made this for me. And she came into my makeup room and said, I made this for you. Someone else gave me astronaut era.
That's pretty great.
Space sister, Amanda, just gave me this. I mean, so I feel that I feel I'm pretty well protected.
Absolutely.
I will say this, as excited as I am, I'll be very glad when we come back down. I will be very, very, very glad about that.
Well, clearly we heard Gayle there, and prior to coming down here in Texas, nervous and excited at the same time. But one of the things what I like about this is that she just makes it real, you know? Regardless of who you are, this is a nerve-wracking experience, and the fact that she's so authentic about it, but also, more so, she is stepping so far out of her comfort zone. I think that in its own right is extraordinarily inspirational.
I think most people would feel the way that Gayle is feeling right about now.
I would.
If you're about to launch into space. You know, one of the things that I find so refreshing is that, you know, back in the early days of human spaceflight, you had the Mercury astronauts, and they were all white male military test pilots, and they all had to have the right stuff. You could never talk about nerves or being nervous or your feelings or stuff like that. That was the wrong stuff. But now, in 2025, it is the right stuff to be like Gayle King and talk about those concerns and fears and excitement that you have before launching into space like that. And that really shows you just how much the human spaceflight experience has changed over the last half century or so. And that really is what today is all about. I know there are some people watching this or who have heard about this who are thinking, why should I care about people going into space, you know? Katy Perry, a famous pop star, why should I care about that? And the reason is, it's missions like this that really begin the process of opening up space to everyone, for all of humanity. That's what today is about.
And I think we have to, it's not just about today. Today is very, very important, but I think also one of the reasons that I love working at Blue Origin is we think in very long time scales, right? I honestly feel like I'm working at a company that will be here in at least 100 years. And that's how we think about space flight. Oh my gosh, look at that cute little kid. She is ready to go to space too. Aww. I absolutely adore that. But we need to be here precisely for kids like that. You cannot, I'm a firm believer that you cannot be it if you can't see it. And that's what this flight is for. It's about inspiring women. Oh, look, talk about inspirational women. Several female astronauts in that group right there. How many astronauts do we have there? I see 4 or 5? At least 4 or 5 and counting. It's a tight group that's only going to get bigger of those female astronauts there. You see Kelly Girardi and Cyan Proctor. I see Emily Calandrelli, Sarisha Bandla. I mean, just an incredible group of women that have gone to space already. And you know, after today, in just 15 minutes, we are going to be adding 6 more to that group.
It's getting close, Ariane.
It is getting close. So with that. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us for NS-31, our 11th mission, human spaceflight mission to space here. We are at T-minus 14 minutes and 30 seconds. Just to give you a little bit of a preview of what is to come, at about T-minus 10 minutes, we are going to have the go, no-go poll. We're going to throw it back to mission control audio. And basically what that is we go through each of the important subsystems, and our flight director, shout out to Michelle Christensen, our flight director, our first female flight director at Blue Origin. She is going to lead that poll, and we're going to go to each one of the groups and say, are you ready to go for this flight? Is your subsystem ready to go for this flight or not? And they will go around the room, and with the final go, no, go, it will be game time here in West Texas for this launch. Look at that. Now, this child is a little younger than you were when your parents went to space.
A little bit older.
Oh, excuse me, a little older, pardon me.
Yeah, because I was just 15 months old when my mom flew in space. And, you know, I think about what it must have been like for her to be a first-time mom and training for her first space flight all in 1 year. And she was a part of NASA's original first 6 women astronauts alongside Sally Ride. Of course, it took them, those first 6 female NASA astronauts, 2.5 years for all of them to fly into space. Now, today, Blue Origin is going to send 6 women into space in a single day. I mean, that's pretty cool right there.
Incredible perspective. Also that, was your mom like just 6 months? You were just 6 months old when she started training?
She was assigned to her first space flight when she was 8 months pregnant with me. Can you imagine?
God, I have a 6-month-old. I can barely fly down to West Texas from Seattle.
She gave birth to me on a Friday and was back in the astronaut office on Monday. I don't recommend doing that. As a mom of 2 myself, you're a mom of 2, I probably wouldn't do that. But
respect.
She did, you know?
Respect, that's huge.
But I've asked her, I'm like, why did you do that? You know? And she said, because I felt I had to prove something. I felt that I had to, you know, pave a trail for women to come. And so as I'm sitting here today, I'm thinking a lot about what she did, the sacrifices she made to make what's happening today. Again, it's not normal. Human spaceflight will never be normal or routine, but this is the beginning of making this kind of travel. We got 4 moms on board, a grandmother, making these types of people going into space very routine.
Now, talking a little bit about that, getting back a little bit into the flight profile and what they're going to feel as part of this now routine flight. So the 6 astronauts are currently in the capsule right now, all strapped in, ready to go. Their audio is working. We are waiting for the T-10 here for the go, no go poll. At T-0, you guys are going to, all of us will hear the pop. That's the ignition of the BE-3 engine. It holds down the rocket for about 5, 6, 7 seconds. Inside the capsule, they'll start to see the glow of the flame, and then they will lift off. They will take off. They are in a somewhat reclined seat, and they'll start to feel the G-forces on their body. And so kind of like sitting in a car that's accelerating, it pushes you back against the seat. That's the same here, except they're going up. They will accelerate to about, they'll have 3 Gs. So here on Earth, we're at 1 G. When you accelerate to 3 Gs, so like if you're 100 pounds, it feels like you are then 300 pounds. But Kristen,
crazy.
It's crazy. But in that reclined position, it's dispersed across your body.
Bad.
It's not as bad. It kind of feels like a weighted blanket. Oh. And then it
nice
eases
and cozy.
up. It's nice and cozy as it gets nice and dark.
I'll take a weighted blanket right about now.
But they're not, don't worry, it's going to get nice and dark, but there's no sleeping on this. They are going to have the most incredible view out of those windows. The capsule will separate from the booster. That's when they're going to feel weightlessness. They'll get the about 4 minutes to unbuckle, enjoy the weightlessness, enjoy the insane views out of those windows. They'll buckle back in, come back through the atmosphere. That's actually when they're going to have the peak G-forces. They peak at about 5 Gs.
Which is kind of counterintuitive. You wouldn't think that you would feel the max G-forces on the descent, but that's when you do.
But that's when you do, and it's kind of like, because you're coming back through the atmosphere, right? It's thin up there, you come back through the atmosphere, it's thick. It's kind of like diving into a pool. It kind of goes boosh against you at 5 Gs, but then it eases back up, and we deploy the parachutes, and they come floating down at about 10 to 15 miles per hour for a nice soft landing here in the desert. At the last second, there's an air cushion that comes out.
Go. Booster.
Here's gonna go, Paul.
Go. Ground. Go. Inco.
Go.
Safety. Go. Capcom. Go. Engineering. Go. This is the flight director. New Shepard is go for launch. Booster, commence terminal 10.
Protocol flight.
Yeah, baby. Go for launch. My favorite words.
It's getting real. T-minus 8 minutes and 51 seconds.
until our 11th human space flight, the first all-female crew flight to space. All 6 of our astronauts are loaded in the capsule, waiting for just 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go here. Now, Kristen, we just kind of walked through the flight profile, what it's going to feel like for our astronauts. Oh, we got Carissa up on the tower to chat with more friends and family. Carissa, who you got out there?
I don't need to introduce the incredible woman. I don't need to introduce the incredible woman next to me, who is a ray of sunshine. Oprah, you are wearing yellow because Gayle's call sign is
sunshine. Yes, right. And all of us, the whole family is wearing yellow today. And I you know, we've been friends. It'll be 50 years next year. We've been friends since we were 21 and 22. And I have never been more proud of my friend than today. Never been more proud, because this is bigger than just going to space. I mean, I think for her, who anytime we're on a flight, she's in anybody's lap if there's the slightest bit of turbulence, has like real anxiety flying, and this is overcoming a wall of fear, a barrier. It's I think it's going to be cathartic in so many ways for her.
She told us that she was surprised that you told her to do it. Why did you want her to do this?
Because I think life is about continuing to grow into the best of yourself and the fullest expression of yourself. And I think that this is one of the most fullest expressions you can possibly have. And I know that I felt deeply that she would regret it. And I didn't want to hear about it for the next 15 years. I wish I had gone, you know. And I said, there's only one time that all the women are going up for the first time. You know, there will be other trips, but there's only one first time.
Incredible.
So to be a pioneer is great.
What was the last conversation you had with her?
I said, peace be still. Hold the God's unchanging hand. He's got your back. That's it. That's it.
I know that we're counting down here. We're getting excited for that go for launch moment. How are you feeling as her best friend?
I feel so calm. I don't think I've ever been more calm, because I think it's already done. Once she said yes, once she committed to yes, and Lord, did we all hear, should I do it, should I do it? Since Thanksgiving, we've been talking about it. And so once she finally said yes, I was like, okay, we're going. It's a go.
You know what I have loved is her vulnerability, because she's the voice of a lot of us that would be afraid, and she's okay to talk about being afraid. Why has that been so important to show that part?
I think, you know, for every woman who's on this flight, it's about fulfilling something within themselves. For Gayle, it's about overcoming this great fear and also stepping into the moment of excitement. And I think, you know, it goes beyond this moment of just going up in space. I think this will be an everlasting experience. I was just thinking this morning, you know, Gayle has been there for me for hundreds of events. I can't even remember them, you know. But you will never forget this day. None of us will ever forget this day.
Well, thank you for being here, for her, for us. I mean, this is just, it's a historic day, and it's only fitting that you are here front and center as a ray of sunshine that you are, Miss Oprah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're next, you know. I'll send it back to you, Ariane.
Thanks, Carissa. Wow, to see Oprah down here. No, I'm not besties with Oprah, not yet anyway, but if Oprah told me to do anything, I would do it. I don't think Gayle had a choice after Oprah said, girl, you got to do this.
She had to do it. Ariane, we are under T-minus 5 minutes until these ladies hopefully launch into space. And, you know, you were just talking about what these women are going to feel when they launch. But let me tell y'all watching what we may hear, because we have one of the most famous singers on the planet on board, and there is a chance that we will get to hear the audio inside and hear what these soon-to-be astronauts are saying and possibly singing while they're weightless. So
I can't wait for that moment. I'm also hoping she comes down to Earth and does like either a Fireworks Part 2 or E.T. Part 2. I think that's going to be, and I think, but let's stick on this point for 1 second, Kristen. I think one of the incredible parts about this crew is their ability to tell the story coming out of this in their own unique way. The way Gayle can go on TV and talk about it. Amanda can go and continue to advocate for women more broadly about it. The way Katy can sing about it, etc. The way Carrie Ann can produce films about it. That is what is so special about this crew in particular?
And that is what's so special about this new era
T-minus 3
of
minutes,
space flight.
45
This is
seconds
not
and counting.
NASA. This is not governments. It's not the U.S., China, or Russia. This is the commercial era. These are private companies, and this is Blue Origin sending the first all-female crew into space since 1963. And this is all going to happen so fast in just a few minutes, about 10 or 11 minutes from launch to landing. And don't worry, guys, I did the math. In case you're wondering, total duration of this mission is just about 3 Katy Perry fireworks songs. So play that song 3 times. That's how long this mission's going to be.
Fantastic. Well, so at T-minus 3 minutes to go until our 31st launch of New Shepard, our 11th human space flight. Just to tell you what's coming up here. At T-minus 2 minutes, we send the show over to the vehicle. It goes into autonomous mode.
Command engine controller ready to start.
We have our team, of course, in mission control that have
Auto
their eyes
sequence start.
glued to the screen there. There you goes, mission control, quiet and intense. There's one of our crew member 7's capsule communicator, Laura Stiles. She is communicating in the ear of our capsule, in the ears of our astronauts. But what we're going to see in the last 2 minutes, you'll see the fins at the base of the rocket gimbal or just move back and forth. We want to make sure they've got free range. At the base there, you see the nozzle, the engine peeking out. The engine as well is going to gimbal, going to move. Both in conjunction together, those two
Pressing propellant
systems.
tanks to flight pressures.
Those two systems guide the rocket.
And when you are out there at this moment, this rocket feels like it is alive. It feels like it is a living,
Retracting sunshade
breathing,
and capsule access
hissing
bridge.
thing, right?
And there's the gantry pulling back from the
T-minus 2
rocket.
minutes and counting. Transition to onboard hydraulic pumps.
And this right here is the moment that they've been training for. 2 days, becoming a crew, becoming a team.
After you go through an experience like this, it's more than a team. It's almost like a family. You are so tight to go through something as intense
Executing
as this.
aft fin built-in test.
And everything looking really good, Ariane.
So far from mission control, everything is clean and green for this launch. T-minus 1 minute to go here.
Engine thrust vector control built-in test in work. Vehicle is now on internal power.
So in a moment here, we'll see those, what they call the bit checks, the built-in test checks. As you mentioned, Kristen, inside the capsule, you know, as you said, this is like a bridled beast. This thing wants to take off.
Switch to onboard helium.
Here we go. Good luck and Godspeed, ladies. We're cheering you on from
Let's
planet
launch
Earth.
this
Thrust
rocket.
termination system is armed. Whew. T-minus 22 seconds and counting.
Go to internal.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, command engine start, 2, 1, ignition. Liftoff. New Shepard has cleared the tower. Flight. 6,000 feet climbing. Begin throttle down for Q limiting. Engine response looks good. Max Q, maximum dynamic pressure. vehicle is supersonic. Engine back up to full throttle.
Supersonic. We have passed through max Q. Maximum dynamic pressure. That's when the vehicle, the stresses between the atmosphere and the speed are at the maximum. So to punch through that is so important. You see the BE3 engines is firing beautifully. You see the stream of steam behind it. Those ladies right now are having an incredible view on their way to space. Passing through 80,000 feet, 1,300 miles per hour. You're going to peak at about 2,300 miles an hour over Mach 3, 3 times the speed of sound. Shortly coming up, we'll have MECO, main engine cutoff. We will turn off the engine, but the two craft, the capsule and the booster, will continue their ascent to space.
Stand by, MECO.
And our
there you saw the main engine is turned off. We're now going to separate the capsule from the booster, and at that point, Kristen, that's when all 6 astronauts are going to start to feel the weightlessness, and shortly thereafter, we're going to let them unbuckle.
And that right there is the most critical milestone of this whole ascent. Oprah watching her best friend go to space.
And the two craft is separated. 328,000 feet, 100 kilometers. Welcome to space, ladies, or shall I say, astronauts.
Oh, the moon! You guys, I have to tell you, look at the moon. Look. Oh, my God! Oh, my God! Oh, my goddess! That's our pink moon. I love you, Jackson!
And just in case it wasn't clear, those are the astronauts. Those are their voices that you're hearing.
And there, they have hit apogee, the highest point in flight, well over 345,000 feet, well over the